when Heaven's Cross opened, it opened the access for what we call divinity, which is really another way of saying of light or consciousness to come into this realm. It was you could say, a spectrum of light that hasn't been here before. It was divinity that was separated. Now that comes in, and it's taking place on a very, very deep, deep level. It's basically filling the space that was between all the particles, waveforms, thought bubbles, and everything else that make up your reality. You don't see these things, all the little particles and the atoms and that, but they're separated by a lot of space, emptiness in between. What's happening right now is that light that's coming in is slowly, slowly starting to fill that space, or another way of putting it is to activate what was in that space, dormant consciousness and dormant divinity. It's happening at a subatomic level, and it's happening at a pace that is not going to throw you off. Most Shambha right now are experiencing, we're observing this closely, very, very closely. The Crimson Council that is their focus right now. How are humans, how are Shambha handling this? What's happening is that as this new light and level of consciousness is coming in, it has an effect on the physical body. What's happening with the physical body, it's trying to adjust to this new level of light, and the light is being very, you could say, careful not to throw the body totally out of its current system. Ultimately, it'll change the system. It'll bring all these particles, thought forms, everything else into a oneness. Just imagine your body right now with trillions of atoms and cells and everything else. They're all having to communicate. The light comes in, starts to fill that void, negating the need for these massive communications that are going on within yourself. Now, remembering all the time that energy is communications. Energy is communication. So what you have now is energy particles that have been separated, all trying to communicate with each other, like as if they were islands in an ocean, and really making life very complex. The very way the biology and the mind thoughts are set up is ultimately inefficient, and it is a big part of the reason why the human species has not evolved very much at all over the past couple 100,000 years, or maybe even the last 500,000 years, because the communications network was very, very inefficient. So what's happening right now with Heaven's Cross, the light comes in, starts to fill the space, ultimately brings everything into oneness within yourself. We're not talking about planetary oneness, but within your oneness, where you no longer need the aniatron. You no longer need 80 billion neurons in your brain, because these things are all brought together into a oneness, into a single energy, a single communication. Now, consider that for a moment and what's happening within you. You've got this incredible change taking place. And a big part of the work of the realm workers was to, you could say, build a pathway, build a template, so that the humans now receiving the new light weren't overwhelmed. It didn't put the body into shock. And the body easily goes into shock when it feels an assault from outside, what it considers to be outside energies. Where the mind didn't go into total fragmentation and total imbalance. So these changes are taking place at a very deep level, and I know there's going to be more questions about this, but I'll say right now, the best thing to do is to allow it, to receive it. Don't try to alter it. Don't try to wonder what's wrong with you. Stop trying to outthink this. There's part of you that already knows that it's happening and why it's happening. Just feel into that. Allow really a huge evolution to take place within your being. And now it's time for you. It's time for you to fill that void that's left behind. It's time for your divinity. You've touched on it from time to time in the past. You've felt it at moments. Sometimes very, very strong. Sometimes it felt like it was there for days or weeks or months. But then, with a tremendous gravity of consciousness on this planet, it seemed to go away. Now comes the time for you to allow that. The gravity loosens. It's loosened by light and consciousness itself. It lets go of its strong hold on you, on keeping you encased in the body and the mind. It lightens. It lets go. Even physical gravity starts to change now. Even physical gravity, but mostly the gravity of consciousness starts to lighten up. It's like suddenly being able to breathe more easily. And suddenly like having more knowingness has come to you in the mind. It's